Okay, yeah, because of the whole internet stuff yesterday, I wasn't really able to look at the April Fool's event, so you know what, why not just do it now? I've got time. So, let's start. Oh, wait a minute, let me just like... How are you guys doing? Water. Yeah, I already got some water today. Thank you! You, senpai. The April 1st stream is real. Yeah, would I ever lie to you? Never mind all of the things that I said that I would do but haven't done yet. I'm not a liar, I'm just very slow. The stream was real? Yeah, I wanted to have like a dedicated stream for the April Fool's event. Because we didn't get to finish it yesterday. Ideally, we would have finished it yesterday, but yeah, the whole internet thing happened, so today it is. Let's start. Alright, let's start. Hello. We've already gone through this part.
저기, 제가 쟤를 때렸다니까요. 네?
Okay, the story can't be skipped. But we've already, played through this.
그거 말 안 하게.
일름부 아니거든. 맞네, 맞아. 원장님, 쟤도 혼내주세요.
I can't skip it.
애들 12이나 하나는 그리고 물론
여러 가지 요리를 해보는 것 이렇게 아이들이 경쟁하면서
I hate Mondays.
이번 승리를 통해 헛쓰고
These designs are so cute.
머리를 맞대면서
있지. 오늘 체험 학습했을 도구 좀 같이 나는 계획
재료를 조달하면서 네, 저기 보세요. 요즘엔 아이들이 다
They have the little squeaky shoes! I remember when I had, like, when people had those when I was a kid.
원장님.
I didn't have those.
넵. 저희 펭귄 반. 넵.
I did not have squeaky shoes when I was a kid. My parents wouldn't let me. They didn't like things that were too noisy. What I wanted though were the shoes with the light up shoes. Honestly, I wanted those all the way up to adulthood. It's baby Gregor!
예, 원장님.
They still have their regular voices.
맛있겠다. 부르셨나요?
아니야.
Had one pair of light up shoes. I don't even have one. Murder. The levels of the sinners. Wait, I didn't see that. Level 4.
부르셨나요?
Level 8. Level 5.
예,
Level 6. Is it me or is Gregor like especially tiny? Okay, maybe that's just like a visual bug. Or maybe he really is that small. I don't know. of everybody else and then look at the size of Gregor. He's so small! Oh no, I think they just kind of shrink. Like they put together all these assets and stuff for April Fools. Wow, I should have used the corn avatar. Wait a second, I need to change. So while I'm changing, how was your April Fool's? Did you check your other gacha games? Any cool pranks you've run into? That means Dawn's level is 200 trust. Like, even in this state, she'd still be like 200. She'd still be level 200. Wait, where the heck is that? I appear to have lost the save file. My April Fool's was coming out. Is the one? No, that's not the one. What do you mean I don't have the corn avatar? Okay, I think the corn avatar did not survive my move to another computer. I'll just go back to the regular avatar. But if you do want to use the corn avatar, you can download it from my Ko-fi. It's free. So it costs absolutely nothing. It costs absolutely nothing to be corn. You don't even need to do anything else. You just need to download the program, which is free, and the corn avatar, which is free. So you can be corn for free. Anyway, I'm back. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, I have returned. Don't mind the VTube Studio UI. Okay, I don't think I've unlocked memberships on here yet because I would have put the corn emote. But for now, I'll just use like the default one. Anyway, let's start. Huh, we can get stuff other than meat from them?
그럼요. 봉이는 서식지 근처에 있는 다른 재료들을 저
What lower body? The limbs? I looked up toward the pricky penguins, once again diving deep into my well of memories to see if these bongy things even had a lower body. Small Gregor! And saw Gregor poking at a bongy's carcass stripped of flesh. At a glance, it may have appeared as nothing more than an everyday childish curiosity, but there was a solemn look on the kid's face that gave me pause.
야 그래 그거 만지지 마. 지지야 지지.
Yucky. You're about to make food from that, you know?
그야 봉이는 뽀동뽀동 맛있어 보이는데요. 남은 쭉쭉이는 너무 벌레 같아요.
And so Gregor began bawling. Claudia, you're being mean! Apologize to Gregor now! Bugs and Gregor crying, I wasn't sure how these two things were related, but the voice in me urged me to demand that Rhodia apologize to Gregor.
너 잘못 안 했는데? 알았어. 미안. 예전에 너 집게팔 보고 벌레 같다고 한 것도
Big
미안해.
meaty claws!
그러니까 뚝.
She said it! She said the line! Big meaty claws!
아이씨, 왜 자꾸 울지? 배고픈가? 내가 먹을 거 줄까?
Do you really not understand why? As Rodeo was struggling to calm Gregor down, light, even footsteps approached me from behind. Yes, sir? Something about the way the low-level voice spoke struck me as oddly familiar, so I whipped around to see who it came from. Yeah, there's no way we're running this place with 2 teachers. This has to be the 3rd teacher who is managing one of the other classes. But I saw no one.
이쪽입니다.
The voice was low. In terms of height, that is. He still kept his original voice.
요리의 준비가 다 되어 원장님을 부르러 왔습니다.
Got a pretty baritone voice for a kid. This kid doesn't even talk like a toddler.
칭찬 감사합니다. 펭귄 반 친구들은 제가 데리고 갈 테니 조리실의 보호자석에 착석하시어 저희를 감독해 주시길 부탁드립니다.
This reminds me of Hans Christian Andersen in Fate Grand Order. Like, his voice does not match his design.
반장 오티스 수감생은 이미 자리에 있습니다.
Okay, thanks. Flabbergasted, I started first walking toward Rodeo and Gregor in that steady, even pace, then made my way into the kitchen. The kitchen's a real mess, huh?
저분하다뇨. 모두 있어야 할 자리에 있습니다, 원장님.
Is it? Something about this place feels oddly familiar too. I guess this is how the place has always looked. Hey, this is the same music from the event, from the Bongi event. Let's just appreciate the soundtrack a bit more. I'll make it a bit louder. I really like this song. It's like, it sounds like Persona. Okay, let's continue. So what kind of dish are you preparing, class?
예, 저희는 프라이드 봉이를 준비했습니다.
Oh, so he's still getting used to words that are hard to pronounce. Hang on, why did he say that in past tense? Wait, but Rodeo and Gregor just got here, didn't they? Weren't they a part of your team too? I guess Gregor might be a bit too young to start cooking, but...
네, 원장님. 로자 수감생의 경우 요리 중 지속적으로 원지뢰의 손실을 일으키는 정황이 있어 의도적으로 배제했습니다.
뭐? 나를 뭘로 보고... 원장님, 매로 혼내줘요!
지금도 봉이 뒷다리 한 개가 손실되었습니다.
원장님, 혼내주십시오!
That's it, Rodeo, go sit in the corner there. It's a timeout chair for you.
왜요? 그렇지만 먹을 거가 생기면 빨리 집어와야 부모집도 않잖아요.
That's really something a child of her age should be saying? What kind of awful condition has she been living in? Too bad, but I can't let it slide when I just saw you sneaking away with a drumstick off to the corner. Now!
아까 과자도 나눠줬는데
Oh.
착한 어린이 했는데. 원장님의 명령이다. 어서 가라. 이 펭귄만의 습지.
This might be going a bit overboard.
이렇게 싸우면서 성장하는 거겠죠?
You know what? Because of the date today, I don't know if what you're saying is true or not. I'll just assume that it isn't. I looked at Miss Yuri, but she only wore a kindly, innocent smile one might have when watching children play their silly
자,
games.
그럼 메르스 어린이 이번 요리를 설명해 주겠어요?
네, 이번 오르떼 뿌르는
The explanation continued for a while with a similar level of incomprehensibility. Did he mean hors d'oeuvres? As I listened, I began increasingly suspicious whether these were the vocabulary and loquaciousness of a toddler, but once I saw a smugly satisfied Otis return from her arrest after having properly restrained the perpetrator, Rodia, only to produce a crayon and a massive sketchpad from who knows where and begin a whole lecture on how this dish came to be, well, eventually I stopped thinking. Wait a minute. Is that a JoJo reference? Hola! Eventually, Dante stopped thinking. Just the kind of world I live in, I guess.
네, 잘 들었어요, 친구들. 그러면 맛을... 그런데 설명을 안 한 부분이 있네요, 메르스 어린이. 음식 꼭대기에 이건 뭔가요?
Miss Yuri pointed at an unfamiliar object standing upright atop the dish, almost like a birthday candle. Wait, isn't that what Gregor's been picking up earlier?
이렇게 하면 기억할 거야.
Oh, thanks for the follow. Thanks for the follow, Nena. It's a lower limb of a bungy bug. In the blink of an eye, Marisol's fist slammed upon the delectable fried bungy and turned it into shapeless mush, alongside the unfamiliar object. Marisol!
원장님, 이건 전부 설명드릴 수 있습니다. 날소스 감생. 이 파괴적인 연출까지가 이번 코스 요리의 연출이겠지? 자, 말해봐라. 이 음식의 이름은?
오늘의 메인 메시드 프라이드.
Actually fried bongy. The time out chair for all of you too! Go sit! First contestant's food was completely wasted. No, wait! I had walked out the kitchen to get some fresh air and cool my head when someone tugged at my pants. I looked down to find... Oh, hi, Isang.
네, 이상이요. 단테 원장님.
Little knife thingy. When will you start your Yuri art account? Arm's gonna start making Yuri art? Well... Like, what kind of art? Yuri art or Yuri art? For the right price? Yeah, I can make either one of those kinds of art for the right price. Right, still getting used to calling me by my title, huh? Although, I will say, I have a video on my channel that's like sort of Yuri coded. I'm not really sure if it counts because it's not really like explicitly of a ship, but it's but it was like my Valentine's special.
이상하오?
It's okay. What's up?
병아리 반도 떼어막습 준비를 마쳤소. 도와주시겠어요? 단테.
I can see the other sinnerlings in the distance, all wearing yellow cheery chickies backpacks.
딸먹둥이!
Heathcliff has a little chicken leg.
원장님, 히스클리프 가요. 히스클리프 가요. 야, 휘두르지 마. 육즙 튀어.
엉님, 반장엉님, 이스마일이랑 히스클리프랑 또 싸워.
We are ready, right?
이상은 없소. 단테 원장님.
I feel like my head's about to burst into flames. I mean, more so than usual, I guess. Alright.
원장님, 얘네들 좀 뭐래요?
Why is this this music reminding me of a game? Was that a 6-7 I just saw? Like a little magical girl one.
나도 용기 냈어.
No matter how April Fool it is, my hatred for Sinclair will remain. What did he do? It's Pete. There, answer a question of the thumbnail. Hello, long time no see. Hello.
아, 19일 봉이
There she is, Yuri!
경호단이군요.
Just what the hell are these things? Why do they explode into a bunch of what looks like casino chips?
오, 혹시 주워왔을까요?
이만큼 줘.
Ishmael confidently unloaded a whole bag of casino chips on the table.
반짝반짝.
선생님 저 잘했죠? 반장은 제 반의 반도 못 주었대요.
Yeah, what if it's opposite day? Do you still hate Sinclair?
면목 없어. 요, 선생님.
아무래도 제가 병아리반 반장에 훨씬 잘 어울리는 것 같은데. 맞아. 싱클레야, 빨리 맞다고 해.
그게 스카다.
Out of nowhere, Heathcliff appeared and, after shoving the chips on the table into his own bag, ran away.
야, 거기 안 사!
And before I could even make an attempt to reconcile them, Ishmael leaped up and chased after Heathcliff, knocking over various knickknacks into chaos.
여전히 면목이 없어.
Emergency stream. Yep, this is pretty emergency circumstances. Like, I wasn't really planning to stream today because today isn't usually a day when I stream. And you might notice that it's also very late. That's because I had stuff to do before streaming. But I just had to clear the April Fool's thing, and had the internet not, gone crazy on me yesterday, then we would probably not be here today. But you know what? That's neither here nor there. Don't be. You're doing your best. Speaking of which, what's the point of collecting all these chips? They're not ingredients, are they?
모르셨군요. 이건 포장을 뜯으면
Miss Yuri flipped the chip one way and the other, and upon finding purchase, pulled the wrapping apart, revealing a small thin coin of chocolate within.
우와, 대박! 엉님,
How
이거
can Yuri
알았어?
understand? Actually, I didn't think about that until now.
물론이요. 아니,
How is she understanding us?
잘했어요, 병아리반. 식구 봉이들의 식성을 잘 파악하고 있었네요.
Maybe like by instinct?
그런데
Oh, well,
용의
April
사람이
Fools.
둘밖에 남지 않았는데
여부가 있겠소. 요, 째기는 비장의 레시피가 있으니.
I respect the hate. You know what? I'll join your hate. The hell with Sinclair. Now you've got no excuse. What did he do? What did he do to you? Super top secret recipe.
아우야, 우선 봉이를.
Then
자, 되었소.
this is
봉이를 잘 나누어 물속에 넣고 당근과 감자, 마무리로 카지노 칩을 쌓아올려 만든 봉이 한 마리예요.
I thought I glimpsed the sorrowful indignation of a bongy underneath the viscously boiling, bubbling surface of melted chocolate. Are you sure this is edible?
이상해요?
That's my blunt assessment. Isang's eyes began to tremble as though he was about to start tearing up. No, I mean,
너무 잘 만들었어요, 이상 어린이.
Then Claire probably mugged me once. I didn't see him, but I'm pretty sure it was him. How do you know that?
정말이요?
그럼요. 끈덕지고 농후한 이 국물. 그리고 완벽하게 익은 이 재료들을 보세요. 어린이 친구 둘이서 만들기에는 쉽지 않았을 텐데 참 잘했어요.
이상적이구려.
Miss Yuri quietly walked up next to me as I watched the two children cheerfully celebrate their culinary success.
선생님, 아이들이 협력해서 성공했는데 맛이 그렇게 중요하진 않을 거예요. 저는 그저 아이들이 다치지 않고 잘 해냈다는데 기쁠 뿐이랍니다.
Claire once saved the puppy from fire trust. Wow, I hadn't thought about it like that. I still got a lot to learn.
물론 초콜릿이 잔뜩 스며든 봉이는 당연히 맛있겠지만요.
Okay.
그런 말도 있죠. 초콜릿만 있다면 신발도 맛있게 먹을 수 있다.
I'm not sure about that, Yuri. I heard that one, but pretty sure it was something about deep frying. Well, no point in arguing about quotes and attributions I only remember vaguely. It's a bit too late to question the way things are in this institution. Pause wants praise. Oh. In any case, Miss Yuri will finally get the chance to taste. Just then, the sound of hurried footsteps came rushing in from the distance, with Heathcliff bursting into the cafeteria from the opposite hallway. Trailing behind him was a seething Ishmael, her yells ringing out in anger. Without warning, a slipper shot out of the darkness, aimed at Heathcliff, who was still on the run. And the said slipper happened to land.
못 맞아.
On the cheery chickie's whole bongy stew.
단테 원장님.
Tears welled up in Isang's eyes, threatening to spill over.
이건 이상하단소.
이뚜마해. 하엉님이랑 내가 얼마나
혼내주시오.
I let my gaze wander from one mess to the next. Bits of food were strewn all over the place, with Isang on the verge of bursting into tears. Stomping his feet, Sinclair advanced toward an extremely flustered Ishmael, while Heathcliff, smirking and giggling, was peeking in from behind the door. And there at the end of my line of sight stood Miss Yuri, who somehow still managed to keep a sweet and pleasant smile, though the ominous vein twitching on her forehead was somewhat worrying. There was only one thing left to be said. Time out, chair! After some time, you still want to continue this cooking contest? The other classes are practically finished, and I don't mean that in a good way. At this point, honestly, you'd win even if you served raw and seasoned chicken just like that.
그런 말씀을 원장님이 하시는 건 부적절하다고 파우스트는 생각해요. 이런 경우에는 아동들의 핵심 역량 한 명, 아이들이 무럭
Sorry, but why are you suddenly changing the way you talk?
파우스트가 생각하는 단어가 너무 고차원적이라 다른 사람이랑 대화가 어려워진다는 걸 깨달았거든요.
I like to think that I can still get what you're saying, so just be your usual self.
안 돼요. 파우스트는 코끼리 반 반장인걸요. 반장은 반의 모든 구성원, 애들이 정보의 습득에 방해 요소 없이 경험학습에 기반한 교육을 문제없이 달성.
What the? You mean you want to use simpler words so other kids can have an easier time understanding you? And so considerate!
요약하면 맞아요.
Right, glad to know Early Elephant's class captain is so mature and dependable. House wasn't one to show her feelings openly, but I could sense a subtle hint of satisfaction on her face, and that was good enough for me.
미안해. 카론, 늦었지.
Oh, Miss Karen. Miss Karen was in charge of 2 classes and topped the children's pickups and drop-offs, so I don't get to see her most days. Are the terror T-Rexes not joining today's class?
피라노 반 원의 위탁 수업. 지금도 데려다주고 오는 길.
Mommy's got a lot on your plate, I see. Which Sinnerlings were in terror T-Rexes again? I sure hope they don't trip and hurt themselves out there.
걱정 필요 없어. 원장 공룡 짱짱 쎄.
Oh, you're right. Dinosaurs are really strong. I was still in the middle of a conversation with Miss Karen when I saw a Sinnerling slowly making her way back, lazily swinging her elephant-shaped bag.
어이 반장. 말, 대, 해. 11구 것들이 정신 놓고 몰려온다. 좋아요.
우와, 진짜 신기하다.
Wowzers!
반장, 할머니께서 말씀하신 대로면 뽕이 요원들은 자기들이 지키는 곳에서 한 발자국도 안
This is
움직인댔는데.
wowzers!
원래대로라면 그렇죠. 하지만 파우스트는 공이 요원들이 움직일 유일한 기전을. 기전이 뭐냐 반장.
줄임말은 아닌 것 같아, 류슈.
유일한 방법을. 처음부터 알 듯하게 말해 반장.
What's that?
그건 금기. 아니 나쁜 짓을 해서 약속을 어기면 돼요.
Ah, you mean break a taboo. But are taboos even meant to be broken in the first place?
다 멍이 아니라면. 유슈, 원장님께 반말은 나빠요. 그렇겠죠?
Don't mind me. I'm fine. Pretty sure this is the first time she's referred to me by my actual title. Anyway, so how do you think we should break a taboo?
와요, 원장님.
House clenched her sponge sword a little tighter, her gaze pinned to a spot. Naturally, my eyes followed hers. Huh? And through the billowing haze of dust rising into the air. Oh, I think I get it now. She's so cute! So cute! Ah! I saw Don Quixote sprinting towards us with her balloon lance held up high. With something that looked like a tattered rag flapping from the tip of the spear.
동물들의 서식, 아니, 사는 곳에 천막을 찢는 금. 랑키오테라면 할 줄 알았어요.
So cute! Ah! A cat! Good grief! Yada yada! I pressed a hand to my forehead as I felt all sense of reason leaving me, but it did nothing to keep the coming chaos from crashing in. You're so small. She's still level 4.
듣고 있어요.
뭐? 듣고 있어요. 무게 중심을 개선해야겠어요.
Next.
제 취향은
Oh,
아니에요.
that's so cute. My smile muscles are working overtime.
험한 검술.
Are you gonna have to do another Limbus Company stream this Friday? No, Friday is an art stream. YouTube chat saying, does this? YouTube chat on screen says, order! I don't know how to turn off this translation thing. Let me check. Not sure.
몸이 가벼워지는 느낌으로.
Yummers. Being too fragile. Okay. You can just win it.
파우스트의 생각대로 봉이 요원들은 전부 해치웠어요.
Oh, I see. What?
아, 원장님. 저건 반장이 잘했다고 칭찬해달라.
Alright, excellent job, Faust. You did good.
네. 파우스트는 항상 우수해요.
That's sweet. And the rest of you too.
감사합니다, 원장님.
Aw.
오늘 체험학습에서 배운 건 집에 돌아가서 동생.
요슈. 줄이지 말고요. 감자.
At least she listened to the class captain. And you two don't get. Wait a minute. Where is she? What's this? Unable to keep her excitement in check, Don Quixote was sprinting in circles around the field.
아, 돈키호테. 흙바닥에 바로 앉으면 더러워. 자, 여기 내가 비단 보자기를 펼쳐줄 테니까 이런 피도 입가에 이렇게 묻히고.
This YouTuber. Don Quixote landed a sudden slap on Hong Lu's arm.
뭐라?
앱은
건드리지 말도록. 오래간만에 만찬이니.
He's going back to her regular voice. What the heck was that? Could it be that Don Quixote is just pretending to be a child?
저리 두세요, 원장님. 아이들은 원래 뛰놀면서 크는 거니까요.
밥 먹을 땐 걔도 안 건드린다. 라고.
There you are, Miss Yuri, Miss Karen. Shouldn't you be at the cafeteria?
여러분들이 너무 늦게 오셔서 제가 직접 나와보았어요. 앞선 두 반은 아쉽게도 음식을 맛보지 못했지만 여러분들의 음식이라도 맛볼 수 있다면 저는 기분.
So glad to see Yuri back.
자, 파우스터리니? 오늘 준비한 요리는 뭘까요? 파우스트?
없어요.
네?
파우스트는 봉이 요원들이 갖고 다니는 방출식 3형 모델 진압봉이 갖고 싶었어요. 전부 분해해서 모으면 새로운 장난감을 만들 수 있거든요. 많이 모았으니 성공이에요.
그게 무슨...
파우스트는 궁금해요. 인간은 피루치의 영향만 제공되면 생명 유지에 문제가 없어요. 유리와 같은 행동을 생산자가 아닌 소비자가 굳이 수행하는 것은 비효율이라고 생각하는데 왜 이런 체험학습을 해야 하나요?
Please.
선생님이 말이 빨라서 잘 이해가 되지 않는데 쉽게 말해볼까?
아, 네. 요리에 관심이 없어요. 귀엽고 그만.
Miss Karen?
다른 선생님, 저런 말 안 가르쳐. 책임 아니야. 도망. 파우스트는 에너지 젤리가 더 효율적이라고 생각해요.
Uh-oh. The look on Miss Yuri's face. It's getting darker. What about the others? Ryoshu,
밥
Hongnu?
먹는 시간도 단축하는 게 낫지. 해요.
집에서 해준 음식이 더 좋아요.
Don Quixote, you've already exposed yourself.
저는 아이들이 식사를 통해 즐겁고 건강하게 자라나길 바랐어요. 눈병이 나서 컨디션도 몹시 안 좋은데 두 반에 담임을 하면서 틈틈이 야근으로 짠 이 체험학습을
Yuri is going through it right now.
그저 아이들만을 위해서. 하지만 결국 이런 취급이군요.
It starts with one thing. I don't know why. Doesn't even matter how hard you try. Miss Yuri!
야근하고 싶지 않았어요.
Miss Yuri is Yuri's body is
그
turning.
누구도 야근을 하고 싶어 하진 않았어요.
But now, Miss Yuri, let's not make it sound as if something terrible is gonna happen.
그러면 전 도대체 어쩌라는 거예요? 영양사가
I
된 게
missed Yuri
죄예요?
too. What about Yuri? Oh, her name is Yuri.
아니, 됐어요. 아무도 음식을 소중히 하지 않는다면
Quixote? I said drop the yak. Go get the kids sitting in the timeout chairs.
너희들 전부 입에 직접 쑤셔 넣어주겠어!
Hurry up! Wait, she distorted it into a bongy? Why is that funny? Woo! This music's a banger! Probably didn't have to do all that, but like... Ooh! So how was the April Fool's event? It's really funny. She distorted to a Chainsaw Man reference because it kind of looks like that Chainsaw Man dog. Oh, it actually kind of does. Really Faust world here? And no answer isn't Faust. Faust already tried this one. There's so much to
원장님, 걔네들 좀 뭐래요? 자, 재료 내놔!
Wiki man? The wiki? Wait a minute, though. Oh my god, you're right! That's so true! Welcome to the Gachelle's shop, dear Faust! There's just a whole bunch of Fausts looking at me, judgmentally! Fanatical Faust request classical Walpurgis not topic cancel new Faust. It's like this whenever during pronunciation of the word actually. Fausting time.
아니야.
Fuck Faust page. Wait, okay, wait. Let me just turn on the win rate.
나도 용기 냈어.
Disappointment of the month. Stupid Faust. She's called Stupid Faust. Naive Faust and censor block Faust. She will be the focus Faust of all foreseeable classical Walpurgis nuts. Irrelevant typical height, irrelevant typical birthday. Among all Fausts, Stupid Faust also stand out visually. Party! Okay. Ryan!
이 양반 어째 주기적으로 버스에서 악몽을 꾸고 그러네.
Nightmare? So it was all a dream? Ha! Figures. As the buzzing in my head gradually settled, the sound of the bus engine came back into focus. I guess what just happened must have been a dream. Nothing more. Thanks, Gregor. You're saying it was a nightmare. Snap me out of it.
뭘?
Wait,
참.
so Yuri isn't
그래.
back? Aw.
아이 고맙다.
When Gregor pointed, the sinners were arguing loudly over something.
에휴. 또 회식 장소 가지고 저러고 싸우고 있어.
Faust
오랜만에 하는
canonically applied
회식이니까
for Earl King
최대한
job.
맛있어야 한다면서.
In reality, some things never change. It's almost amazing how they keep getting into the same arguments. And I don't even get to eat anything.
그 관리자 양반이라면 금방 조용하게 만들 현명한 방법 있지?
Wise way? Did I ever have a wise way to quiet them down? Well, to the timeout chair, everyone! Oh, I'm probably still half asleep. Sorry, that came out weird. What I mean to say is... I was awkwardly scratching the back of my head when I noticed that somehow the sinners had all gone quiet. Huh? Slowly, one by one, they clenched their mouths shut and took their seats. As if they were children who were anticipating one heck of a scolding. What's going on, guys?
다들 조용히 하세요. 생각 의자에서 시끄럽게 굴면
Huh?
티라노반이 오니까요.
Terror T-Rexes. Hang on. Why did I recognize that name?
무서워. 무서워. 티라노반은 나쁜 아이들을 한 입에 잡아먹는데 써.
매번 원회로 나가는 이유가 사실 나쁜 아이들을 벌주기 위해서라는 소문이.
What are they on about? We're on Mephistopheles. Aha! There are 2 seats empty.
원장님,
That's so cute, actually.
친구들이
Well, for
또
Julius.
떠들고 있지 않습니까?
Body corner, everyone.
티라노반 반장! 붉은 수강료!
Theropod. Uppy's Dante. Dailies, Dante. They gotta do your dailies.
대체 언제쯤에야 제게
What on earth are you saying? Stay back.
주시는 겁니까?
No! Oh! Is this my room? Then was that just now also a dream? So I had 2 dreams in a row, huh? It was such a weird-ass dream. Oh. No, it's still too early to let my guard down. I could still be trapped in a dream world, right? I should try pinching my cheek to make sure. Dang it! Forgot I got a clock for a head. Fine, then the thigh, and one on the arm too.
단테, 노크 없이 죄송합니다만 급하게 논의하고 싶은 게 갑작스러운 자학 충동이 일어났나요? 이런 건 보고된 적 없습니다만
No, Faust. Wait, hear me out first.
빠르게 진찰이 필요할 수도 있겠군요. 우선
A good long while to try and explain to Faust the ridiculous situation I found myself in, but in the end, I managed to clear things up. And thankfully, this part wasn't a dream. Just another anecdote to be told about a certain day on the bus. Oh, that was... oh, that's so funny. I had a fun time. You guys think, although I guess you guys have probably completed this event before me. Oh sweet, 401 free lunacy. Like that. Yay! Gifts! Thank you, Limbus Company! Got your first collectible. When you use that? Well, I'm gonna need lunacy for the upcoming banners. Your April Fool's event than any other games that I've played. I haven't even checked any of the other games. It's probably too late to check Upa Musume right now. But like, there's lunacy in there. I'm just gonna leave it there. Yes. And leave that 401 lunacy unspent! You know, this stream is recorded, so we'll always have a video reminder of it. You can watch the VOD, you can watch back the VOD and all other VODs on YouTube and Twitch, but like Twitch only keeps VODs for a short amount of time, so you can just watch them on YouTube. YouTube has all of them all the time. So yeah, we've still got a bit of time. I want to reach an hour because I feel like this is a bit short. So let me just describe like a dream that I had once. Precious gift from Yuri, forever gone. No, the gift from Yuri! Well, we'll have the video reminder of it. Anyway, so I'm just gonna narrate a dream that I had once. Actually this is a bunch of several dreams because when I have like a regular sleep, I don't usually have weird dreams, but when I take naps, I always have like the weirdest dreams. Alright, so here's one about, I don't remember much about it now, but it involved a bouncy house. I think I went to like one of those big bouncy house places with my friends, and then I ran into somebody. I forgot who. Okay, for today's purposes, let's just say that I ran into LeBron James. So I ran into LeBron James at the bouncy house, and then I bumped into him, and then I was like, oh, sorry! And then I think I fell into a ball pit, and then I woke up. Okay, here's another one. This one is a lot more recent than the last one. It was... And this actually came from like a real, like, you know, a legit sleep. Like a sleep that I took at night. So what happened in this particular dream is I was running away from somebody. I was like in a mall or something, and then I was running away from someone. Like half of the dream was just me running around hoping to get away from that person. And then I wake up. Okay, no, I didn't wake up yet. Like at some point I started to get really tired, but fortunately I managed to outrun them and go home. And then I get a contact from like, I guess it was like a contact from the place that I went to. So they were asking me if I was okay, if I had, you know, successfully evaded the capture. If I successfully evaded the other person. And then I say, oh yes, I'm fine, everything's okay. And then when I say that, I get a message saying that actually the person that messaged me was the one that was chasing me the whole time. And then I was like, what? And then I woke up. That one actually freaked me out so much that I had to look at my phone and see if like the whole thing, if anything from there actually happened. Fortunately, it was just a dream. And those are my weird dreams. So, would you like to share your weird dreams? Me and my friend were talking and my calls were getting disconnected constantly, and then I had a message that said, your call has been flagged by government AI. Neat! What a strange dream. I got scared by a PNG of Pennywise at the age of 5. In my dream. Also, you saw Pennywise in your dream, and then you got scared, and then you woke up. I see. Wait a minute. Speaking of Pennywise, now that you bring... I made up a new word in my sleep, which is neat. There was also that one time when I thought I saw a ghost. What on earth? I'm already finished the April Fool's event. But, now we're just like talking about weird dreams that we've had. Way too vivid and weird. The tamest one recently involved a giant crab in the field of tombstones. Oh, that is... that is such a weird and vivid dream. It sounds like, Actually, if you were to draw it out, it would look like a prog rock album cover. If only I knew how to draw in the art style of prog rock album covers, then I draw that, and then I would maybe then I would draw that, and then maybe like, okay, maybe making a whole prog rock album just for this anecdote is a bit much. Because making music has never made sense to me. What's your loadout? Oh, you want to see my sinners? Sure. I've been really into the Bleed team lately. So, yeah, we have all of these, and then... Well, my goal was just to play through the event, but now we're done with that, and it just seems like I've been streaming for too short of a time, so I'm just looking for stuff to fill out the time. So I'm just talking. So this is effectively a just chatting with Limbus company as the background. Bleed is the best status against bosses. Yeah, it's really fun to use. It's fun to like put 99 bleed on an enemy and then just watch their HP deplete over time. Okay, let's just... Hey, Buckley. Why did... Wait, why did YouTube translate me Buckley as I'm confused? Are you going to gamble for the new IDs for Hongdu and Faust? Yeah, when they come out. I'll probably put a few rolls on them and then shard them if I can. However, I'm not sure if I have enough shards. Like, I have only 114 shard boxes, and the respective shards I have for Hongdu and Faust, not that many. I might be able to shard Faust. Hongdu is not so sure about that. YouTube translate everything? Well, not everything, apparently. So, actually, like, story about... Okay, it did translate that one. Yeah, I'm just gonna look for some creepypastas to read. I was scared of cartoon vampires spinning in place in a pure white background because it made my head spin too. Damn you, YouTube, you shamed me for the last time! Look for a fun creepypasta to read. 1999, Ben Drowned, Candle Cove, Clockwork, Dead Bart. Let's look for a good one. There's several sequels to Jeff the Killer. I didn't know that. I feel like as I'm getting older, I'm getting the damn you kids energy. Well, that's just kind of what... That just kind of comes with getting older. I already read, Okay, let's just read the first one that pops up. Everyone wanted to write their own fanfic with Jeff. Yeah, true. Not to mention all the sequels. Although if we were to read the whole Jeff the Killer universe, we'd be here all day. So, it doesn't help that a kid called me Unk a few days back. Lately, my music taste has been becoming more and more old people coded. I don't know why. But I guess it is my time to accept the mantle of Unk has come upon us. Or, auntie, I suppose? I think Bleach is Jeff's weakness. I mean, maybe he doesn't have the patience to sit through it. It has like, what, 300 plus episodes after all? Or maybe he's a Naruto fan. Awaken your inner brain rot. Play the Neko arc theme. Alright, here we have the creepypastas. Estimated reading time 33 minutes. Okay, we've got the time. Let me just turn off the game. Just turn on the game and put on some royalty-free spooky music. I'll take that Bleach as in the product, not the anime. He probably did, but okay, let me just change my category on Twitch. And there's really no point to doing it on YouTube, so I'll just get to reading. Alright, let's begin! In a cellar somewhere, standing before the camera, a man in a tatty, moth-eaten bear suit says hello to the small handful of watching children. This is a public access show viewed only by a small number of fans, a small number that includes you. As a child, you love Mr. Bear. You don't care that he broadcasts from his cellar, that there's something remarkably dark about the way those polished button eyes stare into the camera lens. As a child, you don't see those things. When Mr. Bear suggests you write to him, you jump at the chance. When he writes back asking you to visit him, you jump at that chance too. As a child, there are some things you just don't see. You don't see the man beneath the bear suit, or that bears have teeth and claws. As a child, there are some things you don't see, and of course, some things that you aren't supposed to. 1999, also referred to as Mr. Bear Cellar or Caledon Local 21. Oh wait, no, this is like the summary. The year is 1999. The sentence brings me back to my senior kindergarten class when I was 5 years old, where we used to read out the date on the blackboard every single day. The year 1999 exists as a stain in my mind, however, as a memory that will not go away no matter how I try to forget it. 1999 marked the year I lost my first tooth, my first time on the plane, and unfortunately the early loss of my childhood innocence. That one memory that refuses to be wiped. It all started with that new, or old, TV. At that time, Pokemon was the latest fad to hit the school. Pokemon cards, games, stickers, and most popular, the TV show. So, of course, every time I came home from school, I would stay glued to the TV until Pokemon came on at 5. The only problem was that my dad watched the news at 5:30, and Pokemon episodes were back-to-back, which meant I had to miss an episode every day. Something I whined on and on about. My dad got tired of hearing me complain every day. That must be why he went and bought another TV. My dad put the TV he bought in my room. Unfortunately, it's just an old small boob tube. With rabbit ears even. It also only had 20 channels available, not including the channel Pokemon was on. I recall I didn't care though. I was just thrilled that I had my own TV in my room. After surfing through the channels, I came to the channel that only Channel 2, TVO Kids, was worth watching, so I watched that for a while. It wasn't for another few months that I discovered Channel 21. One day in April, I was flipping through the channels trying to see if Pokemon was on. I pressed Channel 21 into the remote, hoping there were more channels, and to my delight, there was. My dad was surprised too. But he let me watch it because it seemed to have kids programs on. The channel was called Caledon Local 21, and I later found out that it was indeed broadcasted from the town of Caledon, Ontario, a town very close to my city. Wait a minute, so like, didn't you just enter a number for the Pokemon channel? Wait a minute, I forgot to put on the music. I forgot to add music to the stream. Wait a minute, Okay, the music should be playing now. There we go. I'll make it a bit louder. Imagine, that was surprised too. He immediately threw the TV out. Part of reading the Bible. The shows I saw on Caledon Local 21 looked poorly made, and I never understood what was going on in them half the time. However, as I grew up, every time I thought of that channel, I realized more and more how messed up the shows were, and I had to ask myself, what the heck was I watching? The following is a list of shows and episodes I remember seeing on Caledon Local 21. How I remember such detail even disturbs me. Or the background music. A little loud. Okay, I'll make that a bit softer. The following is a list of shows and episodes I remember seeing on Caledon Local 21. How I remember such detail even disturbs me. But I guess things like this stand out in your mind for a while. The channel only ran a few shows, probably because it was only available between 4 PM and 9 PM. That's a really weird time for a TV channel. Like, that seems wildly inefficient. Like, I'm not sure if I don't think I ever watched, like, much of local access TV, but I'd hear people's stories of it. Although, I guess, like, local access TV was, like, the live streaming before live streaming was live streaming. Like, it was just for, like, some randoms to get their stuff out there on TV. There was a lot of weird stuff that was on live streaming, like, I remember reading this story about this Serbian TV show where it was this fortune teller. But that, like, I think the people calling into him thought that he was serious, but he was obviously joking. He was always joking about, like, you know, he would give, like, totally joke fortune tellings, and then the old people that would call into his show would be like, ah, yes, that's right. I think one of the things that he suggested was to, rub a banana on something. I'm gonna have to watch the video about that again, because that was pretty funny. I hear he still does that thing now, but, like, on TikTok. Okay. April 1999. Mr. Bear Seller, episode 12. Very sketchy name if you were to look at it nowadays. The show featured a guy wearing a bear mascot costume who would get a new visitor to his cellar every day. It was always a kid. The show was filmed with a camcorder, and not a very good one either. The police asked me a lot of questions about this show. This episode started with Mr. Bear sitting at a table playing checkers by himself. He sat there playing for a bit until there was a knock on the door. The camera was then looking up the stairs at the door, where there was another knock. Mr. Bear climbed up the stairs and opened the door to reveal two young children. One was a boy about my age, and the other was a girl who looked about 8. Mr. Bear danced in the light and then started talking to the kids. I couldn't remember any of them that well. I remember Mr. Bear then led the kids into the cellar, which was quite dark, only lit by a small oil lamp on the table. I can't really remember that much more, except him singing a song which I couldn't hear too well either, probably because of that large bear mask. The episode ended up with them playing hide and seek, with the kids hiding in the closet and Mr. Bear counting. May 1999. Soup and Spoon. I don't think this was even a show. I think it was more of a special movie thing. All I know is I stopped watching Caledon Local 21 for a while because I thought the show was stupid, especially since Pokemon now came on at 4:30 and 5 o'clock. Can you turn the volume a little lower? Okay. I don't remember much of this, but it showed a can of soup and a spoon, both attached to strings, swinging back and forth as if someone was holding them and dangling them in front of a camera. This actually sounds kind of funny. Interestingly enough, the show was shot in a basement, which was just like the one in Mr. Bear Cellar. Like I said, I can't remember much. The only thing I can remember clearly was the end. I think about somebody trying to make this show because they ran out of ideas, like, oh no! The entire thing was only half an hour, and just included stuff I found stupid, such as the spoon chasing the soup around trying to eat him. The ending showed a table and about 7 kids sitting around it, each with a bowl of soup in front of them. They were sitting and looking at the camera with confused, almost frightened faces. The cameraman then helped the can of soup in front of the kids and said, "Spoon's ready!" And then it just stopped. July 1999. It was summer, and I hadn't watched Channel 21 for a while, until one day when I slept over at my friend's house and decided to check it out again. My friend had gotten a TV in his room for his 6th birthday, so he had stayed up very late. For us, 9:30 was very late. Those are rookie numbers. And watched TV. That's when I remembered Channel 21 was and brought that up to my friend. We decided to see if it was on, and to our surprise it was. It was a change of broadcasting time. Mr. Bear's Cellar, episode 23. The episode was entertaining for my friend and me, maybe because it had swearing. However, now when I think of this episode, I realize something was definitely wrong when it was filmed. The episode started with the camera on his side, while it was facing Mr. Bear, who was walking upstairs to the cellar door. The camera then blacked out for about a second, before fading in, back upright, and facing Mr. Bear. There was also another kid talking to him, but this kid looked about 11 or 12. He was talking to Mr. Bear for a while, but I couldn't hear well, again with a crappy camcorder, until the kid started raising his voice. The kid was saying how it was late and his sister had to go home. You could also hear more voices in the background. I remember Mr. Bear clearly saying, "Get the fuck out, you're not invited!" With a deep voice muffled by the bear mask. I remember my friend and I looking at each other and laughing at the mention of the forbidden F word. But the episode got weirder. The kid began climbing the stairs before turning around and saying how he was going to call the police. Mr. Bear began breaking into a run towards the kid, who started screaming and running as well. The camera then cut out. That was the end of the episode. The channel then turned into static shortly after. August 1999. I didn't want to watch Channel 21 after that. In August, I grew more curious to see Mr. Bear's Cellar for some reason, though. Last episode I saw of Mr. Bear was weird and had swearing, which also made me think the show was meant for teenagers. Nonetheless, I flipped onto Channel 21 when my dad was busy. Wait a minute. Mr. Bear's Cellar, episode 28. Apparently this episode had been playing in the entire month of August. It was studied a lot by the police. The entire episode was just Mr. Bear sitting in a chair talking to the audience. "Hello, kids! Do you want to visit my cellar? If you do, please write me a letter at this address." The screen then switched to a white screen with multicolored letters reading the address. And that was what remained for the rest of the episode. This repeated for 5 hours every day until September came. And guess what I actually did? I sent Mr. Bear, or that sick bastard who portrayed him, a letter. I did it out of curiosity mostly. My dad was okay with it because he thought it was a legit kid show. But then again, he never saw what was on Channel 21. So I wrote the letter using my best writing possible. I think I just said how I wanted to meet Mr. Bear. So my dad sent the letter to the address Mr. Bear said on the show. It stayed on all day anyway for some reason. Wait, all day? You said that the channel ran only from 4 o'clock to 9 o'clock. What the heck? Yeah, I don't think the writers of creepypastas were really all that concerned about inconsistency. It took about a week to get a response, which I was surprised I did. I still have a letter I received on August 15, 1999. The letter read, "Dear Elliot, thank you forever so much for your letter. I would love to have you in my cellar. We play games, watch movies, and go fire camping in the middle of the woods. Come to my house at the police cut out this address, Caledon, Ontario, Canada. I look very forward to having fun with you. Love, Mr. Bear." I cannot believe my dad never found this sketchy, because he actually took me to his house, and that's when the police became involved. Those endless questions, those pictures of terrified kids, the wounds. That brings me to why I'm writing this blog. That psycho and his friends did some fucked up shit back then, and now it seems like he's trying to get into contact with me again. Hello, everyone. Oh, we're reading creepypastas. This is the 1999 creepypasta. The entire police thing's coming back. That has brought 1999 back to me. Over a decade later, it's happening again. Update, November 14, 2009. People have been emailing me asking what exactly happened in 1999. I'll get to that. Those weird TV shows I was watching apparently were meant to attract kids to Mr. Bear's house. When Mr. Bear did, shocked the entire town. Wait a minute. My ability to form words is depleting by the minute. This is the 1999 creepypasta. I should probably update my drawing playing tab. Wonder if the Jeff the Killer is an abnormality. I guess he would count as one. I mean, we have Forsaken Murderer, so Jeff the Killer might be in the same vein. Like creepypasta creatures, you could have like the haunted game console. Like it could be a tool abnormality, and then it changes effects depending on what game you play. Like for example, if you get Sonic EXE, you get increased speed. If you get Bend Round, you get I don't know, increased combat ability. If you get Slenderman, moving on. My dad actually drove me to Caledon along with the address Mr. Bear left in the letter. The house was actually in the outskirts of the town, in the open farmland. I still remember that house. It looked like an older farmhouse that looked to have been built in the early 1900s. The windows were all boarded up, and the house looked in the state of disrepair. As we walked up to the house, I remember my dad checking the address over and over again and looking at the house in disbelief. Then the door opened. I expected Mr. Bear to be at the door, but I was surprised to see a police officer emerge from the creaking doorway. The officer began talking to my dad, while I quickly asked if that was Mr. Bear's house. The officer's face cringed slightly, and then he muttered, "Oh God," or something like that. He started talking quietly to my dad so I couldn't hear, although my dad told me to go to the car anyway, and then we just went home. My dad was quiet the whole way home. I felt something strange had happened. My dad never told me what happened for a while, but then I forgot about it anyway too. Channel 21 no longer came on, and when I asked about it, my dad would not acknowledge its existence. I think it was when I was 13 when I learned the truth. I remembered Channel 21 one day and asked my dad about it. I guess he finally decided that I should hear the truth. Hold on a minute. Don't worry, I haven't cliffhangered you all. I'm just gonna keep reading. Caledon Local 21 was a local TV channel that ran from October 1997 to August 1999 in the Peel region of Ontario. The entire channel was made from a house in Caledon, the one I visited, and run by a man who was not really known by anyone in the town. The channel was only available to older TVs because the signal was only one picked up by rabbit ears, weaker frequency. The man created all the shows in the channel, all of which were kid shows. He was Mr. Bear, and he was the mysterious cameraman. The real reason he created the channel was more disturbing than what was originally thought. As you might have already guessed. He kidnapped kids and held them in his cellar, but while most people thought he was I don't think I can read this out loud. He really wanted to use the kids for another purpose. The day I arrived, the man fled his house the night before, the day before the police went in for their investigation. I wasn't the only one who was watching. Update, December 2, 2009. Sorry for not asking any questions for so long. I hadn't accessed my email account for some time. Anyway, let me set things straight about what I know. Back in October, I visited the house previously owned by the man who ran Caledon Local 21. 2 women lived there, operating a daycare business. How ironic. Now to answer the questions you guys emailed to me. Who else watched Caledon Local 21? I know other people watched for sure, including those kids who wound up at Mr. Bear's house. After some Google searches, I found a few people on the Neo-Seeker forums who were discussing shows from Caledon Local 21. They talked about the 2 shows I watched, but also another 2 shows I'd never seen before. A user named I Am Real Life seemed to know all of the shows that were broadcasted on Channel 21. Here are the 2 I'd never heard of. I wanna eat some food. Honestly, same. There's some... I'll probably get a snack after this. The Fallen Angel in Life. I Am Real Life described it as a fairly boring show about a guy rambling on and on about the camera about how we must please Satan and appease him before it's too late. Paint with the Soul. I Am Real Life and another user called Siggy92 were discussing this show. They described it as Blair Witch-like, as it consisted of the cameraman wandering around the forest at night. doing nothing particularly interesting. I'll go looking for the conversation and see if I can get the link. Q. Where is Mr. Bear, or the guy who wore the costume? If I did know, I would have said earlier. I will have no idea where the guy is, or if he's dead or alive, hopefully dead. When I see my dad's friend next time, I will ask him about this. Maybe I can get a more definite answer. What did Mr. Bear do to the children? This is by far the most common question I'd ever been asked. I found this out in October as well, via my dad's friend who was a retired Caledon regional officer. Apparently, the man playing Mr. Bear took the kids out of the house and into the forest nearby. What he did there, police are not exactly sure how it happened, but 16 charred bodies of children between the ages of 4 and 13 were found in a 15 by 15 foot ditch deep within the forest. My dad's friend did not want to go into the exact details, but I'm seeing him next Thursday anyway, so maybe I can extort more information from him then. That's all I have for now. Thanks for keeping an interest in my blog. I will try to gather as much information as I can for my next post. I've actually been getting pretty interested in this myself. It should be my right to know what the hell happened. Okay. I wasn't really expecting it to be like this dark. I haven't really read this creepypasta. I'd heard of it, but I didn't really know much about the specifics. Update, January 14, 2010. I'm sorry I haven't posted anything in a while. Kinda lost interest in this blog since I hit a standstill while looking for more information about the identity of the owner of Caledon Local 21. However, a few weeks ago, I struck gold. I found some answers supposedly from the father of a kid I used to babysit. He lives just across from my street, and he used to look after his kids when they were younger. Currently doesn't have a job either. He used to live in the woods outside of Caledon, and witness the owner's activities in the woods. His name is Anthony Polio. When he lived in a small bungalow outside of the woods, he would often venture in to smoke a joint of marijuana or two before returning to his work as a wood craftsman. Polio described that somehow he would hear voices of children coming from deeper within the woods. Wait a minute, water. As well as a glowing light off in the distance. Los Pollos Hermanos. I just hit a jackpot. Actually, like, speaking of that, I saw like a lot of cooking videos by Los Pollos Hermanos of the Los Pollos Hermanos chicken, and I really want to try it. Like, for a while, I just really wanted to eat the chicken from Los Pollos Hermanos. Like, I bet if you ate it, it would be really delicious. I should try out one of those recipes sometime. He apparently became annoyed by this happening every once in a while, and actually went to investigate. Polya then described what the whole scene looked like when he went there. There was a group of kids, he said about 13 to 17, ages 5 to 12, gathered around the large fire pit with a burning fire. With them was a single adult. Polyo talked to the man, noting his unusual, unkempt appearance of a crack addict, as well as his constant twitching, and asked what he was out doing out in the forest with children. The man said they were on a camping trip, something they did frequently. Polyo, not suspecting anything, Caledon has one of the lowest crime rates in Canada, simply left it at that and told them to be quieter. Polyo then paused for a while before telling me they never became quieter. In fact, sometimes he heard loud chanting from the children in an unknown language. He didn't bother meeting with the man again, as he was moving anyway. I told Polyo that the man was probably the owner of Caledon Local 21, but he doubted it, as he heard that the man was moving to Pickering by several other residents near that area. Here's what I know now. The man would take kids into the woods. Why do I keep saying wounds instead of woods? The man would take kids into the woods regularly for camping. The fire pit Polyo described may be the hole the bodies of the children were found in. The children Polyo saw are probably the ones found dead. The man moved to a city called Pickering, a smaller city east of Toronto. I will discuss it with my dad's friend, the ex-cop, and see if it matches anything the police knew about the man. I also want to see if he has any other knowledge of what was aired on Caledon Local 21. This prison to hold me? Good news. Update, February 10, 2010. Good news, guys. I talked to my dad's friend and he disclosed a lot of information for me. First, I asked if the police had any information on the man who ran Caledon Local 21. He replied that they only have had the same leads for years and never found the suspect. However, the Peel Regional Police do have some of the tapes found in the house Caledon Local 21 was broadcasted from. He took me over so I could watch a few. I guess I hadn't said much about him yet. My dad's friend's name is Mitchell Wilson. A pretty nice guy, seems to understand my thirst for knowledge and what happened during the late 90s in that house. He feels it was wrong that my dad went so long without telling me that much. He took me to the Davis Road Police Station. If you don't know, the largest station in Caledon, one of the largest within the Peel region itself. Each of the main stations around Peel have some of the tapes. I was able to watch all the footage that the Davis Road Station has. Unfortunately, I wasn't allowed to take any tapes home for obvious reasons. Paint with the Soul, Episode 10, Garbage Thrown Away. Paint with the Soul was one of the shows that I Am Real Life and Siggy92 discussed the Neo Seeker. I told the police about this and they informed me that 12 episodes of the show had been made and broadcast between December 5, 1997 and January 8, 1998. I'm not sure why the dates are in quotation marks, but okay. Exactly as I Am Real Life and Siggy92 described, the episode opened with the cameraman wandering around in the forest. It appeared to be during the evening as it seemed the sun was setting. The camera walked along a path until he got to an area where there was a lot of garbage lying in the leaves. The camera looked around at the various wrappers, bottles, bags, boxes, making sure each item got a few seconds of screen time. The camera then focused on a single area before the man spoke. I recall he spoke in a very timid, quiet voice. I swear I'd heard it somewhere before, like on another Caledon Local 21 show. I could barely hear what he was saying, but he mainly talked about how humans are garbage or something that had to do with saving ourselves by cleaning up the garbage, us. Actually sounded really stupid, but still a feeling of dread came over me. I mean, that forest was possibly where those bodies were found, right? Mr. Bear Seller, Episode 25. When the police administrator brought this tape in, I actually said, "Oh shit," and chuckled a bit out loud. Of course, I got stares from the staff, but Wilson explained to them about my little experience with Mr. Bear and how I still kept the letter he sent me. Like the previous episodes, this one included a guy wearing a bear mascot costume. The episode began with Mr. Bear waddling over to his cellar door with a bottle of orange juice in his paws. On the ground were 16 shot glasses as well as a small bottle that contained an unknown liquid. Mr. Bear poured an equal amount of orange juice into each glass before opening the smaller bottle and depositing one drop into each of the glasses. Mr. Bear went off camera, there were some minor sounds such as shuffling, and then Mr. Bear emerged from behind the camera's location. Following him were 16 children, some looked as young as 4, others looked they were practically teenagers. As the children entered, the administrator commented that this is the only episode that showed all 16 victims. The kids all looked rather content except for this one who had various bruises on his face, and unlike the other kids, he had a more fearful expression. He also looked about 11 to 12, which caused me to recognize him. He was the kid who asked about his sister, and subsequently met an unknown fate at the end of episode 23. That one episode I watched during July. When I told the administrator this, he confirmed it was the same kid. He was also featured in episode 24, an episode that only aired once at 3 o'clock in July 1999. The police had still not found the tape. Mr. Bear then broke into this song, singing about citrus fruits and how good vitamin C is for you. I could barely hear the lyrics as they were muffled by the bear mask. The kids all drank their juice, the one from episode 23 doing it rather reluctantly, and the episode ended. After viewing the tapes in possession of the Davis Road Police Station, I'm satisfied but only temporarily. I still want to know the full story. The police just keep giving me the same crap about the creator of Channel Local 21 being fetishist PDF file, as well as an apparent cultist. I will sign off for now, get to university first, and get information later. Hopefully I will get back to this blog as soon as possible. Man, this writer sure does love info dumping. Like, obviously you kind of need info dumping and something like this, but I feel like he overestimated how much people would be invested in his life. and the real life stuff. Like, I don't think the real life descriptions of the people he was talking to were necessary. But that's enough of that. Last month, I finally got my G2 license. In Ontario, Canada, this allows you to drive in a car by yourself, as well as some of the same passengers around 6 months. Huh? Makes it more believable. I mean, I suppose you could look at it like that. But then, if you're like writing a blog post about creepy stuff, like, you know, wouldn't the people that he's talking to not want their identities to be online? Wait a minute, I'm out of water, so I'm just gonna get some water. I'll be right back. Don't worry, this is not a cliffhanger. Holy smokes, there's so much. Poor journalist ethics. He forgot the difference between a blog post and a novel. I mean, I guess that's like the sort of point. Like, you want it to be like, you know, as detailed as a novel, but also like come off as a blog post. Kind of reminds me of in the Princess Diaries book series where like they're having online chats and then you'd still have like people getting cut off, but like, isn't this a chat? Why would you be getting cut off in chat? I don't know. Anyway, let me just get that water. Okay. Since I haven't updated this blog in a while, I figured I might as well visit the house where the infamous channel of my childhood was located. The house looked different than when I last saw it in October. The place was no longer used as daycare and just sat there abandoned. However, it did have a for sale sign showing that someone still owned it, wanting to get rid of it though. The abandoned house drew fuzzy memories from my mind, mainly of that day my dad took me to visit Mr. Bear. A feeling of dread came upon me. What happened to the children when they were living in this house? I walked up the stairs to the front door and peered through the window. Inside I could see a nearly empty hallway with a few boxes at the end. At the end of the hallway to the right was an open doorway, presumably leading to the kitchen. To the left were two doors, both apparently leading to the rooms visible through the windows outside. I wondered where the cellar entrance was located and whether it had been sealed up. I walked around to the back of the house and found my answer. Two wooden doors lying at an almost flat angle were padlocked shut. This had led to the cellar. Not wanting to hang around, you cannot imagine what's going through my mind at the time. I departed. Behind the house, the empty field continued on until it reached a dense forest that lined the horizon. I wondered if that was the forest where the bodies of the children were found. I thought to myself, fuck it, and proceeded to walk across the field behind the house into the forest. The forest was oddly quiet, save for the few periodic sounds of a woodpecker drilling into a distant tree. I cautiously made my way deeper into the woods, not really caring about the fact I had no idea where I was going. I don't know how to explain it, but it felt like there was something I had to find. I came to a thinner part of the woods, again with the freaking wounds! The woods! 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 The woods! Polio's house crossed my mind, and I wondered if one of those homes had belonged to him. I neared a small clearing in which I could see three adequately sized logs gathered around a black charred area, showing a small fire had been lit here recently. Hey! Get the fuck out of my fort! His words nearly gave me a heart attack. I turned to my left and saw two dark-clothed people running toward me. My initial thought was to run. However, as they came closer, I saw they were really just kids in their early teens. Possibly 13 or 14, maybe even 12. As they approached me, they realized my size as well. I am 6'1", while they could have been no bigger than 5'8". One might have been 5'7". We said, get the fuck out! The larger one, who was wearing a slip-knot shirt, said half-heartedly. I stood my ground and shrugged. The shorter one, who was wearing a Metallica shirt, swung out the butterfly knife and held it in my direction. No, you wouldn't want to, I said in a deep, serious tone, trying to sound as badass as possible. I like when the author shows humanity, kind of like here. Stuff like this, I believe, is what makes it seem more real. I pulled out my cell phone. The two kids withdrew, the one in the Metallica shirt putting away the knife. Look, dude, we don't like people in our fort, so can you just go? The one in the slipknot shirt said, obviously intimidated. I had no business in the forest anyway. So I uttered out a simple fine and turned before I realized that I had a great opportunity. Did either of you hear of a guy who murdered a bunch of kids in these woods? Fucking woods! My inability to pronounce the word woods. The star of today's stream is my inability to pronounce the word woods. I'm gonna summon tree spirits at this point. Gonna have, Treebeard from Lord of the Rings read the rest of this creepypasta. I should really watch Lord of the Rings. Once I unlock memberships, let's do a watch-along or something. Okay. I asked the kids. The two looked at each other in confusion before the one wearing the Metallica shirt answered, "Yeah, everyone knows about that guy," he said to me as if I were stupid. The kid in the slipknot shirt continued, "He still lives around here, in the storm drain. My big brother's friend says he saw him in a bear costume once, wandering around the forest at night. Have you not read Lord of the Rings? It's fire. I haven't, yeah, I haven't watched or read Lord of the Rings. But, I mean, I hear a lot of good things about it, so maybe I'll try it. That is, if I can go through my whole reading backlog. Not sure why I'm pulling out a book. You can't see me. The father of high fantasy. Yes, I will read Lord of the Rings. Not even the movies. I only know, like, the parts that, we're taking the hobbits to Isengard. Taking the hobbits to Isengard! To Isengard! It's the OG fantasy book. Okay, I'll add that to my to-do list. Read/watch Lord of the Rings. My instincts told me this was probably a lie, and the owner of Caladan Local 21 is probably long gone, only existing as folklore in the smaller isolated community. However, as a human, the thought of the mysterious human unknown sparks interest within. And where is the storm drain? I asked, just out of curiosity. I don't actually believe this kid's story. Nah. I'll just be calling them Metallica and Slipknot from here on out. Cause having to read out the kid and the guy in the something shirt is getting a bit exhausting, so I'll just be calling them Metallica and Slipknot from now on, okay? Okay. Metallica stared at me for a few moments, his eyes seemingly full of annoyance, yet curiosity for me. You're not from around here, are you? Why do you even come here? Now, I do admit I was slightly startled by the nature of this question. However, I figured it might as well explain why I was there, just in case people mistook my intentions. I told the two kids about my experience with the man in Caladan Local 21. Okay, I guess like his habit of info dumping also makes sense to real life. Or his real life. I had to come and maybe seek out some closure. Although even I wasn't exactly sure. You only need one of those words, don't worry. The kids seemed familiar with the channel as they smiled and looked at each other when I mentioned it. They also became more understanding and they gave me a detailed description on how to get to the storm drain. Shortly after, I decided to just turn around the way I came and head back to the house, leaving behind the kids at their fort. By now, you're probably already wondering why I left out such detail of what the kids told me now. It's because I'm choosing to conclude what I've gathered now. Here's what the kids told me in detail. The storm drain lies ahead of the kids' fort, the same direction I was heading. The drain ends at the small river, where excess water is drained out. Near there is a small playground. The kids told me people rarely use it. The man supposedly lives in the large pipe that rainwater drains out of. People have seen him, although always either wearing a bear mask or the mask in a full-body bear costume. I don't believe this is true, and in fact simply a myth. Okay, you don't believe it. We get it. Even though, like, everything in the story so far is saying maybe you should take these warnings a bit more seriously. But you know what? That's just typical of horror movie protagonists. I may visit the storm drain, not because I believe the story, but because I want an excuse to visit Caladan again so this blog doesn't die. With no more tapes to watch, I don't know what to talk about anymore. Okay, respect for him admitting that he's just content farming. At least he is open about his intentions. But then again, I also think that he believes it and is trying to hide it. Okay, TLDR for Nova and anyone else that might be feeling lost. There's this creepy TV channel And the person running, like, it's a public access TV channel supposedly run by one guy. And they think that the one guy might be doing some shady stuff. Possibly murdering children, burning them in pits of fire. And so our protagonist, who saw the channel as a child, is currently trying to find out exactly what happened here. He's trying to get to the bottom of all this. And he's contacted a bunch of other people, like these kids. He mentioned like his dad's friend who was an ex-cop, and then his neighbor that used to live nearby. Right now, the kids have given him some information about someone that might be the guy that he's looking for, the one that ran the channel, and so now he is trying to find out. Wow, nearly 5 months since I last updated. I'm guessing everyone pretty much thinks I was dead, right? Thankfully, I'm not. But in all seriousness, I really have been busy these past few months, and a blog about something that could have killed me as a kid is a little low on my current priorities list. Really? Like, you had a near-death I imagine, like, a near-death experience that involves the police might be a bit higher up. Okay, but I guess college is also pretty difficult. Yeah, college is hard. Take it from me. Like, last stream I talked about that time that I stayed up really, really late for a college project. Yep. As of now, I am living in Waterloo, Ontario, attending the University of Waterloo for computer engineering. Yeah, I'm a keener. I don't know what that word means. As you can imagine, engineering is no walk in the park, so obviously I nearly forgot about this blog. Yeah, can relate. I mean, I did not take engineering myself, but I sat in an engineering class, you know, just to take notes about like how the teacher conducts the classes and stuff. And I didn't really understand anything. It was about water flow or something. My mind at Waterloo, Napoleon did surrender. Okay, I'll keep reading. I remembered to visit the storm drain the kids from the Caledon Forest told me about. It was out in a clearing between the wooded areas, nearby a marsh. Okay, if I were to point out every grammatical error, we'd be here all day. I found absolutely nothing, save for a turtle that returned to its built-in home when it saw me. That's actually kinda cute. I snapped some pics of the pipe, which I posted as well. Let me tell you that it was not a storm drain like they said it was. What I saw was a simple pipe, possibly to channel the excess water from the marsh. When I returned from Caledon, however, I simply kept putting off uploading everything. It just didn't seem important anymore. Please forgive me. It wasn't until only recently that I am now interested in my case again. On September 10th, I received an email from this email address, returntheb@hotmail.com. Funny, am I right? Well, it gets better. I'm gonna copy and paste the exact email this guy sent me. Dear Elliot, my dear boy. You see, this story may or may not be true, but it could happen. There are many slots for airtime. If you have money, you can have a public access TV channel. Some public access channels share airtime like EWTN, religious channel based out of Michigan, that shows Catholic-based programming, but during off-air hours have independent shows or just blue screen. Cable networks have empty channels available for rent space. So the scenario of a PDF renting a channel on basic TV is not far-fetched at all. In 1999, it was I hear Caledon and all I can think about is Arc Knights. That's all I understood from your message, Ava. In 1999, he was 5 years old. How is he in college in 2010? Oh yeah, he was 5 years old in 1999. Shouldn't he be... maybe he skipped a couple grades? I don't know. Maybe like, I don't know how Canadian college works. But in some places, college works a bit differently. Like, until somewhat recently Okay, like until somewhat recently, here, in the Philippines, you could enter, like, people would enter college at 16, at age 16 on average. Although, they did change that a couple years back. Or maybe I'm misunderstanding. Maybe he wasn't 5 years old in 1999. Let me just go back. There's just so much. Oh yeah, he was 1990. He was 5 years old in 1999. So like, yeah, let's just assume he skipped a couple grades, or that college works differently in Canada. However, public access TV is widely reviewed and can be terminated at any time. These are the rules for the United States, not for Canada where the story took place. So if this happened in the US, the PDF would be tracked and arrested immediately. Yes, this story could happen, but it is unlikely. 100 fuzzy hugs, Mr. Bear. Now obviously this letter is fake and sounds almost corrupted, but still, I would like to thank whoever sent it, though they could use some English lessons. Just reading this letter creeped me out, but because of it, I am now full of this new interest to continue my blog. As it's just funny trying to pursue the mysteries I've always questioned. Now my roommate knows all about all this. He thought the letter was real and actually seemed more scared than I was for a second. But then I shrugged it off, so he did too. I mean, what are the chances of this being real? How would Mr. Bear know all this about public access TV and about when I went to Caledon on those occasions? More or less know my email and still be interested in his seller. I'm going to send a reply to return the B. Wow, just looking at the email address, you can tell just somebody wanted to freak me out. It didn't really work though. Although, to whoever you are, thank you for sparking my interest back into the full matter. Maybe I can find out more about what happened to Mr. Bear, hopefully, because although I don't buy that email, a part of me still feels anxious. Thank you for all those who are still following me and have become avid fans. You're also why I'm choosing to continue this. Thanks, guys. Like, if he was, if this was written a few years later, this would be like a YouTube channel. This would be a YouTube channel and he would be saying, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Update. Wow, I can't believe this blog hasn't been deleted yet. I haven't posted anything for so long. I have my reasons and I'd rather not discuss them yet. It has been a rather traumatic year for me. Some of you were right. I should have gone back trying to relieve the mysteries of my childhood, but I couldn't resist. It has been over a year since the last post and a lot has happened. Wait, what? Over a year since your last post? Your last post was last month! Dude! Maybe there was like a typo? Okay, let's just assume that this is a typo and this is a 2011 instead of 2010. I think that our author might not exactly know about the passage of time. To recap where I am right now with the regards of this whole Mr. Bear incident. returntheb@hotmail.com is no longer in use. I tried replying to the email but I got no reply. Tried again a while back. Still no response. I've actually moved up to Ottawa, capital of Canada for those who don't know. For university, so wait a minute. Are you going to university? Going to university in Waterloo, Ontario? Okay, maybe this is like a different, okay, let's just keep reading. I think this is like a red herring. I've had to make a new email account because people keep prank mailing me pretending to be Mr. Bear. Thanks a lot, guys. Not. Alright, why have I ventured back into this blog? Mitchell Wilson. Remember my dad's ex-cop friend? This is starting to piss me off. gave me a phone call on October 23 about the tape that was found in the branch of the Brampton Public Library. Yeah, I'll just skip all that. He claims isn't allowed to discuss the contents of the tape with me, but he has asked me to come check it out when I return home. Tape got the gears grinding again because we all know it was on the last tapes I saw. I can only imagine what might be on it. I'm guessing it must be something to do with Caledon Local 21. I guess I just wanted to say that I'm continuing this blog and thank you to everyone who still follows it. I don't know when my next entry will be, but when I see that tape, I'll write what I find. I don't know what to expect, but the idea of seeing another tape has gotten me interested in this whole mystery. Elliot. Okay, update, January 21, 2011. It has been a long year for me. University has been giving me the usual sleepless nights, especially since I transferred to Ottawa, which is the place to party. Sarcasm. But now I'm back home in Brampton, the town I grew up in. You could have just... Okay. Never mind. I got home on the 18th of December and have been visiting with friends and family. This is what I would have rather done. Now the festive holiday cheer that I usually have at this time of month is absent. Wait a minute, who is blogging in the year 2010? Isn't Twitter and Facebook out already? Okay, but like Twitter still has, you know, Twitter and Facebook aren't exactly known to have these kinds of things. Like those are more for quick status updates. And also blogs were still around at that time. Like I remember using the internet around that time and people were still keeping blogs. Like there were whole videos about like keeping a blog and stuff. So yeah, I'd say that blogging is still very much alive and well because well there was no Twit longer and Facebook was more for short status updates and photos. And there were also like other platforms that were dedicated to blogging, like actual blogging. Remember them dying out in that era. Well, around the time that I was learning about them, they were still around. I feel like they would only start dying out around... Like, they would only be like a completely dead sort of thing. I wouldn't really say completely because like we still have stuff like Medium. Like, they would just... Like, you know, blogging would not really become as popular. Around the mid-2010s, I think. This is still the early 2010s, so blogging is still at least a little bit relevant. You know, somewhat less popular medium like this might just add to the whole creepypasta vibe. I did see the tapes that my dad's friend promised to show me. These tapes, however, act as a curse. I want to know more, yet I want to forget everything. I couldn't help it. I needed to see those tapes, not only for myself, but for all you guys who are just as intrigued as I am by that ominous man in a bear suit from my past. However, after viewing those tapes, I feel that pit of dread deep inside me once again. That feeling where I know all those kids in those videos are dead, that I could have been one of those kids, and that humanity is a dark, dark place. Well, humanity isn't exactly a place. If you haven't skipped this paragraph for the juicier details now, thank you for listening to my rambling. I've been listening to your rambling for like, what? 10 blog posts at this point? What's a couple more? On January 1st, I called Mitchell Wilson and asked if there was a time when I could come by and view the tapes. Things were very slow at the station because of a snowstorm, so he said I could come down anytime that day. The tapes were located at the branch not too far from me, so I braved the slushy roads and terrible Brampton drivers and made my way to the Peel Regional Police Station located at the Bramalea City Center. I met Wilson at the front desk where he then led me up to the second floor and into a small office. He instructed me to have a seat and wait while we went to get the tapes. Before leaving the office, he said, I know you're curious, but are you sure you want to do this? Of course I did. At least I thought so. Besides, Wilson's friend had pulled a lot of strings to get me in there, and I didn't want to waste the opportunity. The particular station had 2 tapes in hand. I was only able to watch a few minutes, because the second tape was apparently too damaged to be played on the VCR. Episode 30, Mr. Bear Cellar. Mr. Bear never ceases to disturb me, especially after what almost happened when I was younger. This episode took place outside in a forest at dusk, making it slightly hard to see, especially considering the quality of film, a trademark of anything from Caledon Local 21. The episode started with the camera being held in the paws of Mr. Bear aiming it at himself. That bear mask, it looked more sinister in the shadows of the trees. The unmistakable muffled voice spoke up. Hello, children. Today I will be doing a wonderful thing for my friends. I will be delivering them to a faraway land where they surely will be happy. Mr. Bear turned the camera around to show an ATV with an attached trailer. But what stood out the most was that the trailer contained 7 motionless children lying side by side. This here is the first load, but more will be underway soon. Mr. Bear turned around and pointed at the camera at the large burlap tarp spread on the ground. He picked the tarp up, revealing a large hole that must have been at least 12 feet deep and maybe about 15 feet wide. The rest of the episode consisted of Mr. Bear taking each kid and dropping them into the hole. I asked Wilson if they were dead, to which he shook his head and said, "Not yet." Soon, all the kids were in the pit. Some were in awkward positions due to being tossed in, but they remained unconscious. The vitamin C will surely help these children on the great journey that awaits them, Mr. Bear mentioned as he panned the camera towards multiple bottles of gasoline beside the bush. The camera zoomed into the bottles as Mr. Bear hummed before the episode ending. Wilson revealed to me that these were 7 of the 16 victims found burnt to a crisp. The gasoline is what the man playing Mr. Bear used to light them on fire. A pit full of burning children. Who the fuck would do that? That feeling of dread found me once again when I realized I could have been one of those kids. I thought this was a children's creepypasta. I was not expecting it to get this heavy. Next time I'll probably stick to the ones about video games. Probably should have read Ben Drowned or something. But we're already close to the end, so let's just keep going. Wilson then explained to me that he had previously lied. The other tape confiscated by the Bramalea police branch did indeed work and contained the filming of the actual burning. However, he felt that I wouldn't be able to handle the disturbing and graphic nature of the episode. And you know what? Maybe I can't. I don't even want to see it. I'm satisfied for now. But I just think I need some time to get myself together. The thing is, the man who ran Caledon Local 21 is still out there. More to come soon, Elliot. Okay, so there's something here. Once upon a time, there lived a boy named Elliot. Elliot was a clever boy who loved playing with his friends. One day, he watched a lovely television show about a bear and his children friends. The children loved helping each other as good children should, but they also loved the bear. The bear loved the children since the children were so good at helping him and the fallen angel. The children and the bear wanted to play together with the help of their angel friend. But the fallen angel needed even more help, so the children had to give the ultimate sacrifice. Because that's what friends do, Elliot. They help each other. Help us, Elliot. Burn with us, Elliot. Hello, Vay. Hello, Vay. I want you, Elliot. He wants you, Elliot. Come back to my cellar. Pretty please with sugar and icing on top, Mr. B. Update. April 5, 2011. Happy Fool's April! Happy Fool's April to you too! We just cleared the Limbus April Fool's event, but there's still some time, so I'm just reading some creepypastas. Okay, this probably isn't super humorous. We're almost done. Like, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Creepypasta, I prefer Sonic EXE. I actually read Sonic EXE on a previous stream. The VOD is still on my YouTube channel, I think. What's it called? It was a drawing stream. Like, I was drawing and also playing Sonic EXE. I also reading Sonic EXE. You may want to look into Rewired Sonic. Sure. Next time I read creepypastas, I'll keep that one in mind. Rewrite Sonic. Okay. Bad news for the other half of the world. It's April 2 now. Well, it's... well, you know, I'm still in April 1 in spirit. Okay, I'll look into your suggestions next time I read a creepypasta. Because, yeah, this is a bit heavy and I should probably have stuck to ones about video games. Alright, let's read what I think is Elliot's final update. What else are you streaming? Where is this other chat? Oh, it's I stream on Twitch and YouTube. And the other chat that you're seeing is the YouTube chat. Okay, update, April 5, 2011. I wanted to update more. I truly did. However, certain circumstances had turned me off the whole Caledon Local 21 thing. I've since had hundreds of emails about my blog, and was even in contact with the magazine about my story. But now is the time to come clean to everyone. Where have I been for an entire year? The story of Pandora's box is true, and I opened it. I opened it when I watched the second tape in the possession of the Bramalea police branch. The other subject I'd like to address is the number of joke fake emails I've been getting from people claiming to be Mr. Bear. Let's start with the second tape, as that is what traumatized me into stopping my search temporarily. After a few weeks of playing silent, I decided to ask Mitchell Wilson if I could view that infamous second tape he had talked about. I don't know why, I just felt that viewing that tape would give me some closure. Wilson was obviously reluctant to show me, but I was persistent. He gave me an offer. If I was still interested by the time I turned 20, he would show me the tape. Not being able to do much else, I just played the waiting game. By the time my 20th birthday rolled around, I was definitely still interested in viewing the tape. I gave Wilson a call, during which he admitted that he had hoped I would forget about asking him again. But I was not taking no for an answer. You really don't need to see it, he kept telling me. But I did need to see it. I had to at this point. Surely enough, he invited me at the Bramalea branch one Monday afternoon. Having watched every Saw film and a video of animal slaughterhouses in my ethics class, I was sure that I would be able to handle whatever the tape would throw at me. How naive I was. A folded pizza does not count as a sandwich. It's a calzone. We figured this out already. Okay, here's a creepypasta for you, Dual Blades. And so, the boss of Italian food declared that a folded pizza is a sandwich. Like, if you put two pizza slices on top of each other, then it is a sandwich. Like, just by the definition of sandwich. No, but like, if you have like pizza slices and then you put them together, then it's a sandwich. Okay, let's read. Mr. Bear Seller, episode 31. When Wilson went to collect the tape from evidence, the officer in charge of the evidence shook his head at me, his face saying, "What are you doing?" Wilson explained that this tape includes the last known episode of Mr. Bear Seller. I rightfully assumed that I would be seeing the fate of the children and began to feel a sense of dread. The episode opened inside a forest, the usual one from the previous episodes. This fact took me a while to realize because it was night. The trees and leaves just looked like shapes dancing around in the darkness. A faint glow of light was present on the right side of the screen. There wasn't any apparent audio. It appeared to be a windy night, yet the trees weren't making any noise. Slowly, the camera began to pan towards the glow, revealing smoke rising from a hole with the tips of flames peeking over the top. Wilson paused at this point. "Are you sure you want to see this?" he asked me. I insisted on it, even though a voice in my head was telling me not to. The video continued. The cameraman moved towards the hole, showing a pit of fire. This was the hole I'd seen in the previous episodes, only this time it was filling with shapes. I could see shapes moving around, fluttering, flailing, some motionless. I knew perfectly well what they were. The camera began to adjust to the light and burning flesh. Red, black, a blur of surreal movement and colors. I wish I could forget what I saw, but you can't forget anything, a scene like this. This was not a horror movie, this was reality. Human beings were being killed in a horrifying way, a fate that I could have potentially met. The video suddenly cut to dawn, the camera now positioned farther away from the hole. The fire was out. However, there was still smoke rising up. A figure was up ahead. I recognized it right away. The Mr. Bear suit was laid out on the ground. Empty, it looked just as unnerving. The suit was laid out in the shape of a cross. The cameraman did a lap around the suit, treating it like a treasured artifact. Placed at the end of suit was a sign. In bold red letters, INRI was printed. The cameraman moved back to the end of the suit, zooming into the bear's face. The episode finally ended. Oh my god, are we talking about cereal soup this time? Well, here's something scary for you. Cereal is a soup. Although, if you're really being strict about it, like, cereal is a salad with milk as the dressing. Like, a bowl of cereal is a salad with milk as the dressing. Who eats cereal without milk? Me. I eat cereal without milk. I just kind of take the cereal and then just pop it in my mouth. I don't eat it with a spoon or anything. That would be too difficult to read. I mean, to eat. My vocabulary is getting mixed up. Yep, I was speechless. It was like a dream. You can find a lot of terrible things on the internet, but I never seen anything like this. Wilson asked if I was okay, and I replied with a shaky yes. I assured him as we left that I was fine, and that video gave me some closure over the whole incident. He didn't seem too confident in me, but he left it at that. He was right though. I had nightmares for weeks. I gave up. I didn't care about the whole thing anymore. A sick man burned a bunch of kids alive, attracting them with a fake kids TV channel. I could have been one of his victims, yet I'm still here. I suppose I should be grateful, but I feel guilty. Am I still here only by pure luck? 10 months later I'm back, but now I need to address something else. My email has been flooded with messages. Some people ask for more details. Some people ask if I can upload the tapes, and some people email me claiming to be Mr. Bear. I cannot get the tapes uploaded as they are in police possession as evidence, and I have no idea how to transfer VHS onto a computer. As for the people pretending to be Mr. Bear, you're not fooling me. When you have dozens of people pretending to be the same person, it doesn't work. I've even seen a fake Caledon Local 21 YouTube channel. Just cute but still not real. Even more annoying is the fact someone hacked my account just to put up some demented poem about me in this blog. I'll leave it in the entry, guys. I'll leave it in the entry above this one just to show you guys. I have contacted my webmaster about the entry and was told to just post it on Halloween. Ooh, spooky. Attached to the email paintwithbaol.com, which I assume is another joke email. I'm over episode 31 now. The images of what I saw will stick with me for a while. But I want to do one more last hurrah. I will get in contact with Wilson again and hopefully get set up with the tapes in the possession of the other Peel police branches. I'll try to update you guys as soon as I can. I'm sure this won't take so long again. Thank you to everyone who still reads this. Elliot. Beer is a... Why is beer a food? Beer is not a food. Beer is a drink. If beer is a food, then orange juice is a food. Oh wait, there's still some more I can read. Wait. Wait, no, this is just like some stuff about the creepypastas. So that's the end of that. Yeah, that was quite the story. It was a bit darker than our last creepypasta. It's called liquid bread for a reason. Okay, like, beer is made of the same things as bread, but it's not bread. Like, is hot chocolate a food? Because it's made of chocolate, which is a food? Although here we do have a food that's like chocolate porridge. You eat it with salty fish, it's really good. That's like saying wine is a fruit because it's made of grapes. Exactly, exactly! Alright, sorry, wheat, not bread. Alright, I think this is a good enough time to log off, but... I don't know, I feel like I want to stick around a bit longer to hear about your weird food opinions. Alright, share some food opinions. It was fun to listen to some scary spaghettis. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I think I might do this more often. Although I don't think I'll become like a dedicated creepypasta reading channel, just a pastime. Apple juice is better than orange juice. I mean, apple juice is good, but I'm not so sure about it being better than orange juice. Mango juice is S tier of juice. Well, me personally, yeah, I'd have to say, like, okay, the orange juice that comes in the packet, like, I don't really like it. It's not really that good. But the ones that come in bottles, they're really good. Although, like, if I want to have, like, a juice that I'm sure that I'll like, I'll just get apple juice every time. Wait, I still have, like, the horror music. Look for some more music. Okay, let's have more joyful music. Orange juice has such a varied taste depending on who made it. Yeah, that means like you could be getting orange juice that's really good or like really bad. Maybe it's too sweet or too sour. So, you know, only get orange juice that you trust. Oh yeah, here's something for here's a food opinion that... Wait, let me think about it. What's a food opinion that I have? I'm sure that I think there was something that I said that was food related that pissed someone off once, but I forgot what it was. Okay, here is, I guess, my most controversial food opinion. I'm not really a fan of Chinese food. Oh, NASA's launching a rocket in 5 hours? I won't be streaming for 5 hours. By that time, I'll probably have already logged off. People who make orange and strawberry flavored stuff never tasted an orange or strawberry. You could probably say that more accurately about bananas, because the banana flavored stuff comes from a banana that no longer exists. Also, there was a time when I was really obsessed with cocktails. You know, like mixed alcohol drinks and stuff. But and apparently there are some cocktails that just straight up can't be made anymore because the alcohol that was used to make them went out of production. Like, they don't produce it anymore, and like, even if you make like anything... Even if you were to make it with something similar, it's not gonna be exactly the same. Wait, let me just find something to read. Dun-dun-dun. Maybe orange and strawberry don't taste like them. Yeah, only way to get it right is with the food in question. Chinese food is S tier. Oh yeah, like, there are some foods that... okay, if I have to go to a Chinese restaurant, then there are always some foods that I can order. Usually if they serve congee or noodles, then I'll get that. Like, I don't usually like things that are too flavorful. And a lot of Chinese food has a lot of flavor, which is good for some people, but for myself it tends to be quite overwhelming. So there you go. What's the order? Fried rice and meat platter. Oh yeah, fried rice! Fried rice in Chinese restaurants is also really good. You can always get it and you'd have a full meal in the rice. You'd have vegetables, your meat, your eggs, and then it just tastes so... it's just so good. I love fried rice. I could sing the praises of fried rice. Have you ever had full-sized ribs before? What do you mean by full-sized ribs? Let me look that up. Like barbecue style. Oh, I think I have a few times. Of course I don't think human ribs. Oh yeah, I have had these sorts of ribs before. They're good. But then, like, how good ribs are depends on how you cook the meat. Like, the meat has to be the right texture. Okay, I'll just archive the creepypasta. Like, I'll just bookmark the creepypasta website. There's a creepypasta YouTube channel. Oh, really? Okay. Next time I'll read Ben Brown and rewrite Sonic. Chicken ribs. Choco lava cakes and cakes with too much filling between them sucks. The filling usually overpowers and oversweetens everything. Yeah, that's true. Wait, I think we still have time for one more story. Yes, let's read this. One last story before we go. This is Who Was Phone? Okay, so it's like this. You're at a friend's house for like the night or whatever, and then you guys are making out on the couch. Yeah! And then like her dad calls on the phone and says, "No, she likes it more if you use the other hand, yeah?" And then you're all like, "Oh, dude, your dad is trying to give me advice on how to diddle you." And then she's like, "I don't have a dad," or whatever, but what? Then who was phone? Also, so you're with your honey and you're making out and then your phone rings, you answer it, and then the voice is like, "What are you doing with my daughter?" You tell your girl and she say, "My dad is dead." Then who was phone? Ah, this is wonderful. 10 out of 10. This phone gotta be one of the lines of all time. Like, I knew that it came from a parody creepypasta, but I haven't read this, and yet I still reference then who was phone sometimes. Okay. That's the end of today's stream. Thank you guys for joining me on this very scuffed stream. I will see you all on Friday. Alright, pasta la vista!